Hello, everyone. Um, so I hope everyone is doing well. And first of all, thank you so much for joining the webinar today. Just to give you a quick understanding of what exactly is the webinar about, before that, I would like to tell you that this webinar is going to be hosted by Mr. Shashikant Satbhai, who is a ISO 9001, ISO 27001 consultant, auditor, and trainer as well. He has till date assisted more than 100 companies to achieve their ISO certification. So he is well now known in his field, and he is going to guide us on the subject data privacy and employee awareness. So this webinar will outline around this particular topic. It's because nowadays data is like a very valuable asset for any of the organizations. If it is compromised, then it can lead to big impact on an organization. Simultaneously, we must understand that data is vulnerable to many threats, so it is a responsibility of each person to protect the data. So let's understand the basic of information security and your role in info security in this awareness session. I would like to request Mr. Shashikant Satbhai to start with this session now. Sir?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. I will just share my screen. I hope your screen is visible.
Yes, sir, it is.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And I'm associated with Remunance for a long time for as an ISO consultant. And I think a few of you must have attended training sessions conducted by me previously also. So thank you very much for this. Uh, As mentioned in the introduction, the information security is very important part of our day-to-day life now. The reason because it is the data is now it's a new asset or new important asset across the world, and people are striving to get the data. The more the people more data they are having, they are called as a more information rich company, and all these big companies, Google, Facebook, all they are striving to get more and more data, what you are doing, your name, your profession, what are your activities, and that data is used as their business tool. So let's understand from this how we are going to what is the importance of information security, what do you mean by information security. Since it's a very small session, I will just cover the very briefly about this topic. So why do we need information security? Second point is how to identify my security requirements and overall information security, the broad perspective. These are the three important topics which I'm going to cover in this session. These are the few things you must be reading in our in daily newspaper. Every day there are news. A lot of frauds are happening. People are losing huge amount of money, and this is becoming more serious. Every day people are losing lakhs of rupees. And across the world, if you come look at this cyber landscape, you will understand the seriousness of that. The first important point here is the number of users, what we are using. In India, it's the second largest internet user. Across approximately 90 crore users are using accessing the internet daily. Then there is another aspect we must look into. Approximately 120 crores mobile users are there, out of which more than 50% is a smartphone users. This numbers may be more than that. This is a survey conducted in 2024 by Government of India and NASCOM, the IT body. Then there are 29 crores online buyers worth $55 billion of business is happening. These are all big figures, mind-boggling figures. 83 billion UPI transactions, almost 139 trillion rupees are transacted. Every day people are using API, UPI and making a small transaction also, 5 rupees, 10 rupees, everybody. Now this UPI is becoming, people are not carrying cash with them. Everybody is doing these digital transactions. 35 crore digital payment user, bank payment users are there who is making online payments. Social media coverage, almost 50 crore people are active on social media, some either for WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere they are active. Increase in e-governance also. Government is also coming up with the new applications, new people-friendly applications. So tax payment, RTO, GEM portal is there. So government is also using the technology very widely, and a lot of transactions are happening there also. And there is another side. So once one side, technology is providing ease of our business or ease of our living. It is improving ease of living. But there is another side to that also. Almost 600 million cyber attacks per day. This is not, I have not taken this number from anywhere. This is a Microsoft figure, 600 million. Why such big numbers are there? Because again, technology is used for cyber attacks also. So a computer can attack multiple sites, multiple locations at multiple places. In 2024, losses due to cybercrime were approximately $10 trillion. This is worldwide figure. $10 trillion are lost in cybercrime due to cyber attack. People are losing this money. India is among top 5 countries because obviously because number of people who are using internet, number of people who are doing online transactions, they are the people who are most vulnerable for such kind of attacks. In 2024, 7.5 lakhs cybercrime complaints were registered. These are the numbers which are registered with our police department. There are many complaints which are not registered. There can be small transactions, so people are not concerned about going to the police and registering a complaint. But this is very important part. Yeah, who is this? My yeah. Then there is a almost 2,000 crore rupees lost in first 4 months in 2024. This is the last year figures. What are the major contributors to cybercrime? It is very interesting to know because government has taken this initiative to understand how we can protect this, how we can prevent the cyber crimes. So one of the major reason for this is lack of security awareness. They found that there are a lot of surveys, a lot of studies has been conducted by different agencies. Banking Association, RBI has conducted, Government of India has conducted, independent bodies has conducted a lot of surveys, and everybody is saying that lack of security awareness is the major reason for cybercrime. People are not aware. They are falling prey to the some kind of a freebies, some kind of phishing mails are there. People do click on that. So that is a major reason. So that's why you will find government has taken a lot of initiative. They are giving big page ads and for security awareness. Banks have come up. Their caller tunes are now cyber fraud. How to prevent cyber fraud? Security awareness is being spread across by many agencies. Then there is a lack of appropriate preventing, detecting, and controlling mechanism. Now it's a very complex situation. It's not something which you can control by putting just one or two mechanisms. There are a lot of parameters, and the people who are sitting outside country, they are the major people who are doing these cyber crimes, and there are very limited access to those people. We'll come to that point later. But lack of preventing, detecting, and controlling mechanism, that is also one of the major reason for cyber crimes. Then lack of appropriate law. In India, we have got a IT Act. IT Act means not Income Tax Act, but Information Technology Act 2000, and it is being enhanced regularly. Every session, every parliament session, they are coming up with some new clauses, new strong things to be included in that. Recently, the betting apps were all these betting app, gaming apps were banned by the government. That is nothing but a to protect people from these cyber crimes. So lack of appropriate law is also one of the reasons that the cyber crimes are free to commit these crimes regularly. Lack of experts to investigate cyber crimes. There are huge demand for the cyber security people, in various department, police department, our army. These are the government agencies, but in private companies also there are huge demand. Recently, Government of India has published a data saying that almost 10 lakh, more than 10 lakh professionals are required in cyber security field to take this task ahead. Cross-border limitations, as I mentioned, because these criminals are sitting outside country where our jurisdiction is not applicable. We cannot investigate. There is no government treaty with them to investigate any kind of fraud there. Let's assume something is happening from Pakistan or any other countries where we don't have a appropriate contract or agreement with them. We cannot go there and investigate. In some countries the cyber crimes are not considered as a normal crime also. So there these criminals are roaming around freely. In Nigeria, for example, now I think they must have come up with some kind of a cyber law there. But previously, Nigerian frauds were the major people who are contributing to this, because in Nigeria, cyber crimes are not considered as a crime. So there are a lot of people who are sitting there in Nigeria and they are committing this kind of activity. So cross-border limitations for investigations and all that is also a very difficult part. And lastly, more important part is the overall social scenario where rise in easy money culture. People will pray to very simple kind of free schemes, some kind of coupons are there, then the gifts are there. So people just give their information openly, and then later on they become a prey for such kind of cyber crimes. So these are various reasons, major contributors to cyber crime, and we are surrounded by such kind of things. I hope everybody must have received phishing mails or maybe phishing SMSs or some kind of links. If you click there, you can see these pictures and all that. There are n number of ways by which these cyber crimes are committed. So we have to be very, very careful now how to deal with this situation to increase our security awareness. So that's why I think most of the schools, colleges are also now coming up with their cyber security, information security awareness sessions are conducted by police, even by professionals across different domains. The school college syllabus is added, increase awareness about from the organization, institutes, and security experts. There are a lot of awareness programs are going. Social media, print media, they're all being used to increase the awareness. A strong legal framework, so more stringent laws are required where you can recover the money, you can punish the criminals, not only in India but across globe. So the strong framework, legal framework is required. Recently, if you know, the new DPDP Act is also coming, that is called as a data privacy related law, which is where personal information, the private information is how to protect that. And if you breach that kind of law, then there are heavy penalties are implemented or punishment is also there. So DPDP Act is there, but that is not still implemented. It's passed by the parliament, but it is not enforced yet. Strong qualified investigating agencies are required. There are a lot of professionals who are associated with police department, your army. They are helping them in their mission. So this is also very much requirement. And the skilled security professional, and lastly, the promotion of stronger secure technology. Technology also plays very, very important part in this. If you have got a secure technology, let's assume you are using a mobile phone, whether it is appropriate model is there, whether it has got a secured feature or not, whether the operating system what you are using, or if you are having any protection application installed on that. All these things are very much important. If you are using old phone, then the security features will be less and they are more vulnerable for newer kind of attacks. So it is very important for us to update our operating system also, update our mobile phone system also. Similarly, our laptops, your firewall, antivirus, all these needs to be very well updated and it should be latest so that latest frauds, latest attacks can be prevented. So these are the very important points which we must remember. Now, the next point comes into our mind is that how to identify my security requirements. Now, if you look from the organization perspective, what is my security? How much I invest into that? How much money I should put in? What kind of security I can put in? Because if you look at the security scenario, it ranges from basic model to quite advanced model. Now, which security are required? For example, if your bank is there, then they will require highest amount of security for their application, for their data and the transactions. Or maybe if you look at the share market online transactions, where a lot of financial transactions are happening. So they require highest level of security. That kind of security may not be required in a smaller company or maybe in a company where they are not doing such highly confidential transactions. They will require a basic kind of security because they are less vulnerable for such kind of attacks. So everybody will have their own security requirements, and we must understand what is appropriate for my organization. And based on that, we should take the actions. For that, we have to understand the difference between normal asset and information asset. There is a two different concept are there. The definition of asset is, if you somebody is from the accounting background, they will know that asset means anything which is having value, that is called as an asset. So anything which is having value to the organization is called as organizational asset. Anything which is having value to your personal life, it is personal asset. And on another hand, the information asset means any information that is valuable to the organization is called as an information asset. There is a difference, though the asset word is same. Asset, if you look at this difference, asset is tangible. You can see them. That laptop is there, your some mobile is there. They are the asset. You can see them. It is a measurable. A loss can be seen. If it is a stolen, you can see that, okay, my laptop was there, now it is not there. So you can see that. There is a defined impact due to loss of asset or less or nil impact on your goodwill. If your asset is lost, something happens to your asset, your goodwill is not getting impacted. But if you look at the information asset, it is intangible. You cannot see. You cannot see the data. It is difficult to measure. What the importance of data, you cannot measure. If you lose the data, what will happen? You cannot say. It cannot be measured in financial terms. There are multiple possible impacts possible due to loss of information asset. A loss cannot be identified. You cannot see whether my file is copied somewhere else. Somebody has copied your file. Unauthorized copying is there. Unauthorized access to file is there. You cannot see because file is there. You cannot understand whether your file is being copied or maybe used by somebody. As I mentioned, difficult to measure the impact, and there is an impact on goodwill. If data is lost, then the credibility of that organization, credibility of that person, or credibility of your technology is there, that people will start, they won't trust you if the information is lost from your side. So that is the big difference between normal asset and information asset. That's why it is very important for us to understand how I can protect the information asset. That is something important. Now, if your information asset is, what are the different type of risk, or I will say possibilities with information asset? One is it can be stolen. Yes, the information asset can be stolen. As I mentioned, the files can be copied, downloaded, or it can be accessed. Damages can be done. Somebody can attack that, corrupt that, or maybe it modifies the file. So damage is possible. Or corrupt the file, that is also possible. Misuse. They will use your data, your information for different type of malicious activities. It can be misuse. It can be made non-available. So non-availability is also there. The data is there, information is there on your computer, but you cannot access that. This happens mostly about the website. You want to access a website, but it is not accessible because there are a lot of attacks are going on, or maybe you can say denial of service attack in cyber technology. One of the name given to that is denial of service attack, DOS. So they attack your website, they attack your server so that you cannot, other people cannot access them. So non-availability is also there. Loss of ownership, lot of intellectual property you generate. For example, somebody is doing software development. then they will be having their codes, software codes are there. That is their ownership. Or somebody is doing some kind of a creative activity, designs, or maybe some kind of write-ups are there. They are their intellectual property. If that is being used by somebody and they showcase that their creation, then loss of ownership also is very important possibility in this. Uh, we generally read in newspaper about the theft of cinema themes or maybe stories stolen by somebody, and they put some kind of a legal case against them. So such a loss of ownership is also there. Loss of image, or as I mentioned, loss of goodwill is also there. If asset is lost, then it may impact your company's image. Espionage, yes, it is can be used for spying. People can use that for some kind of activity where they can spy inside what you are doing, what you are, and how you, what is your behavioral pattern. All these things are being used by all these big companies to track what you are doing, where you are going, what you are eating. Everything is now being tracked, and based on that, they promote or they give different type of advertisement, and they sell that information to all these companies, big companies, which they use it for their product promotions and all that. So it's a big, big, big industry, and it is very risky to disclose our information in now on the internet. So we have to be very, very careful. So these are different type of risks associated with information assets. Now, what happens if asset is lost? There is an impact, and that impact can be small or big, depending on the asset value. If the information or the information asset which you are holding, which is compromised, then if asset value is higher, the impact is higher on your organization or on yourself. If information is of less critical, then impact can be small. So depending on asset value, the impact is there. I will give a simple example. Let's assume that you are having a server in your organization, and there are different users who are using desktop or laptop to access that server. Now, definitely, you will understand that the server is a very important asset of the organization. If that server is compromised or something happens to that server, entire company, entire all the users will get impacted. So that's why the impact is bigger if server is compromised. That's why server is very well protected. It's kept in some kind of a secured cabin, data center is there, alternate backup system is there. All these features are provided to server because the security of that server is very, very important. If anything happens to that server, there is a lot of huge problem to the organization. Now you can imagine, let's assume that your Facebook or WhatsApp, they are having a huge data centers in the world. And if something happens to that, they all these features will go down. That's why those servers or those data centers are very highly secured areas. They call it as a 7 layer, 10 layer security is there. All these data centers where your banking applications are hosted or any organization application. Nowadays, people are using a lot of cloud applications. So all these cloud applications are hosted in some kind of a data center, and their data center is having a multi-layer security, physical access, access control, logical access. All these are very well protected because if anything happens to that, there will be a huge impact across the world. Recently, if you remember, one incident was occurred due to your CrowdStrike antivirus and Microsoft. Due to CrowdStrike antivirus, some of the Microsoft applications were not running. Entire airline industry were impacted. A lot of flights were cancelled. People were not able to do the banking transactions because of all these Microsoft servers, those which are using CrowdStrike applications, were compromised, or due to some incidents, there were a problem. So such kind of things, bigger impact is there. People cannot access anything. So depending on side asset value, you have to decide how much protection, how much security I need. And that's what we do. We put our gold or any cash in our locker and everything. So multiple layer protection is there. But smaller value asset, they are just lying around anywhere. Like let's say your pen is there, your notebook is there, newspaper is there, which is openly available in your house. But your important assets, you protect it in your lockers and other things. Same logic is there. as far as the information asset is concerned. So let's understand what you mean by information security, because if you want to protect, if you want to do understand any kind of terminologies, you have to understand the definition. So this is there are a lot of definitions, but this is very easy and easy to understand. A piece of information can be deemed secure if it can be ensured that the information will be made available at all required times while maintaining confidentiality and integrity of business information. So when you talk about the information, these are the three important parameters: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. These are the three important. If we protect these three parameters, then we can say my information is secured. So just understand what do you mean by confidentiality. The confidentiality means the how I am going to, who is going, only authorized people are allowed to access the information. For example, in your organization, let's say financial data is there. Then accounting team or finance team is authorized to access that data. They are the authorized people. If HR data is there, then the HR team is only authorized to access that. If somebody else who is not authorized to access that data is accessing that data, that means there is a confidentiality breach is there. So we have to ensure that whatever data is there, the confidentiality needs to be protected. That means only authorized people needs to have access. So we should have a strong access control in place so that only authorized people can gain the access. So that's where the username, password, multi-factor authentication, OTP, all these things comes into the picture to ensure that the confidentiality of your data is maintained. The second part is integrity of information. Whatever information you are accessing, it should be authentic, it should be complete, it should not be altered or it should not be tampered. So that completeness or accuracy of that information needs to be protected. That's where the integrity of that information comes into the picture. How we can ensure that integrity is maintained? As I mentioned, again, the confidentiality part is there. Only authorized people are allowed to access that. Then in that case also some can say that okay, they will have only read only access, they cannot modify the data, they can read it, especially when you are using for PDF files are there, or even if you are sending the Excel file, those are password protected. All these features are available. There are multiple things, multi factors are there. Or maybe in some many organizations there is a hierarchy that somebody will modify the data and somebody will review that data, maker checker kind of a concept is there. In banking operation also, the clerk who does the data entry, it is approved by some senior person. That is called as a maker checker. So that's where the integrity of that information is maintained. And last parameter is availability. That means data is available whenever you require it. It should be available. Otherwise, the server is there, data is there, but I'm not able to access that. So that is also considered as a information security breach. So whenever you are
Um,
thinking of, yes,
Sir, sorry to interrupt. Just wanted to let you know we have 4 minutes left for the session. The
yeah,
session will
we-
automatically end after 4 minutes.
yeah, we'll finish that.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yeah. So these are the three important parameters: confidentiality, integrity, and availability, which we must understand. Let's go ahead. How now? How to protect that information? So first, identify your information assets which are there in your organization. Then calculate the asset value. There are some techniques by which we can understand what is the asset value. Once we know the asset value, we can decide which is important asset, which is not a important asset. Then find out the risk associated with the asset. What are the risks? Uh, what kind of risk? Virus attack is there, or maybe unauthorized access, that is hacking is there. Such kind of risk are there. So we need to protect our information assets from the such kind of a risk. Then what is my risk appetite? That means what is my risk consumption or what is my capacity to protect that. Then based on that, I can decide what kind of technology, what kind of tools I can use to protect my information, and then implement those tools and monitor those things periodically. So this is the cycle which we can by which we can protect the information regularly. So in a information security, how we can do that, there are multiple controls, multiple security controls we can put in. That is information security policies. We should have information security policies in place. Then we should have appropriate people who are trained for that. They should maintain that. Then asset management, information, all the assets needs to be managed. There, how to add the asset, how to remove the asset, how to monitor the asset. Then appropriate security, HR security. That means people should be made aware. They should have appropriate skill set to manage the information security. Physical and environmental security. Your asset needs to be physically protected also. Your servers, your laptops, all these needs a physical protection also. Then your network, without network, no organization can survive. So communication and operation management, all the security networks needs to be protected. Firewall, antivirus, all these things must be there. Then access control, as I mentioned, for confidentiality part, only authorized people needs to have access for that. And then security requirements, incident management. If anything happens, security incident happens in your organization, how it will be handled. Business continuity plan. If anything happens, if business get disrupted, let's say server goes down, how I can do that. If internet line goes down, how I can continue my business. And last part is the compliance part. That means all your legal compliance, regulatory compliance, licensing compliance must be there. So if you want to protect the information, these all parameters you need to understand. So that's how the security is very important. It's like oxygen. When you have it, you take it for granted. But if any incident happens, then it becomes an immediate and pressing priority. That is what the information security is. Any questions are there? You're allowed to ask. Please go ahead. Any questions? I hope the topic is clear. You understood the concept, as the time is very limited, but I have tried to cover it in a very brief manner. Yeah. Any questions, please? Last less than 1 minute. Though we have started slightly late, I think that time has gone for this question answer. Yeah, please.
Yes. So, sir, actually, you actually explained the topic really well. I think most of the employees have understood. But definitely, if they would have any questions or queries, I mean, we can share your email ID with them, and they can reach out to you personally with their questions. Looking at the time constraint here.